Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for the Monday Coffee Conversation. Got mine ready to go. Hope you got yours. Let's get into the Word. I'm sure that most of you have used a search engine like I just showed, whether it be Google or Bing or whatever it is you choose to use. We use search engines to find little quick things like what's the weather supposed to be today, or we learn how to fix or do things on there. Recipes, a lot of people use them for. A lot of times to solve the little what they call the earwigs that just stay in your brain all day. What's that lyric to that song that I keep thinking over and over but can't get right? Or who was that guy that was in that movie? I've been thinking about it all day. Well, now we can go on Google and find out those things pretty instantly. So they're very helpful. And maybe you've not used them to look up things like perhaps I did about can you teach a chicken to dance and things like that. But we've all used them and they're very handy. And the last thing that I searched for on that little clip, how do I find God? Well, we can use Google and search engines to find a lot of things about God. We can find scriptures or we can find people's opinions, and it'll point us in a lot of directions onto that. But it's not how we find God by using a search engine. The scripture tells us in Proverbs, just one second here, Proverbs 8 and 17, it says, I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. So what does that mean? Now, when it comes to Google or using a search engine, all we have to do is type in something and the answer shows up. But sometimes it can be misleading. Sometimes you're not exactly going to get the answer that you're looking for when you're using a search engine. You can type Apple in and be looking for information on the latest iPhone, but you'll find information about an apple. Or you can type in Bible, and instead of giving you scriptures, it'll show you pictures of Bibles or something like that. So Google at times is not always direct. It's not always exactly what you're looking for. But if we do what Proverbs says and we diligently seek God, we're always going to find that. Now, I mentioned a little while back that for the last, I don't know, 3-4 months now, I've been trying to be intentional about looking for God in everything that I do, in everything that I do throughout the day, or everything that I go through, whether it's working in the yard or working out or whatever. I try to look for God in all situations. And believe it or not, just like that scripture says, when I diligently look for Him and seek for Him, I find Him. I can find God in anything just by paying attention and actually looking for Him. Now, just like Google, you can't just sit and stare at the screen and expect Google to give you an answer to something you're thinking about. You have to type it in. You have to take an action to find it. With God, we have to diligently seek Him. We can't just sit and just hope that He'll just show up and reveal Himself to us. Sometimes He might, but the Bible tells us we have to diligently seek Him. Now, we seek God and seek learning of God through the Word. We seek God through prayer. But even in our everyday lives, we just look for God. If there's a storm going on outside, like a regular thunderstorm, we can look for God in that and see how He protects us, or see how certain things take place during that God has a hand in. When you see an animal react to a storm outside trying to find protection, God has a hand in that. God has a hand in putting it inside of that animal to seek protection during a storm. When we have storms in our own life, if we seek God and look for Him instead of just focusing all the time on the storm itself, then we will find it. If we're just driving down the road and we seek God, we'll find God. When we look for God in ways just driving down the road or walking around or whatever, and we look and we see things that God has created, we can see God. We can find him, but we have to diligently look. Now, if we're driving down the road and all we're focusing on is the goofball in front of us or behind us or beside of us in traffic, or that's causing us to get aggravated or whatever, then that's all we're going to see. But if we seek God, we can find him in anything that we're active in. If we actually look for and diligently seek God, we will find him. So remember that. We were talking the other day about the beauty of God's creation and the things and how to focus on that. Let's diligently seek God in all that we do today, in all that we go through, whether it be good things or bad. Let's find a way to find God in every situation. We thank you for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll see you next time here on the Monday Coffee Conversation.